like a Hellcat.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Anson, and today we have a interesting video. So about a week and a half ago, I think, we made that ARK video, which did okay, and it made me think, what else can I do ARK related? And yes, I am planning to make a second ARK video, but I thought I would make this one instead. So this is this week's bonus video. I'm also working on a Minecraft video for today. Not sure when this one is going to come out in relation to that, but yeah. So here's what I was thinking today. I'm going to go through and we're going to analyze all of the key concept art slash, images, some of the main pictures. When you search ARK up on Google, these are the things that you're going to see, okay? And I noticed that some of them don't really make sense in terms of the actual game, so I want to go through and analyze those. And we're going to start with this one right here. So immediately we can see that there is clearly some sort of conflict going on between these two tribes, and it's hard to really tell what exactly is going on, because if we look here, that is a Tech Rex it's a Rex with a Tech saddle, and that's not easy to obtain. Those things are quite expensive. And on the other side, we have a dude with probably primitive flak on a raptor holding a lance. The lance is a good idea. It'll work against the Baranox, but it's not going to work against the Rex, I don't think. The Baranox over here, actually, let's look at this. So this person is wearing cloth armor and has a rifle. I'm guessing if this was a real world thing, that person might have just joined the Tech Rex tribe, and I'm assuming that tribe gave that cloth person the rifle, because there's no way a person in cloth armor could obtain that item. Honestly, the Baranox too isn't the easiest thing to tame, so maybe they got that from the larger tribe as well. We also have here this guy on the trike with a bow and arrow. This guy right here has got some balls, that's all I'm saying, because he is front and center. He could basically be taken out from any angle. But he's acting as a distraction for the most part for his tribe, and I think that's very helpful. Another thing to note, if we look back at this raptor guy, there's clearly some sort of flash here. I think that's bullets from the rifle hitting the shield, but I'm not certain. Maybe there's another person. Like if this image was zoomed out, maybe there's more people on his side firing weapons. I'm not certain. Another thing to point out is this looks like some sort of base raid slash base defense, and it's hard to tell which tribe is the defending tribe and which tribe is the attacking tribe. But we kind of have some clues here that we can look at. So solely based on what this base is made of, we got a lot of wood here. We actually have like ballista turrets, not real turrets, and then we have some large wooden gates. This leads me to believe that it is this tribe's base, because I feel like a base from this tribe over here would be far more advanced. And that being said, following that pattern, it makes you think like, oh, okay, they've got trikes, they got raptors, and that's about their extent of their arsenal. However, we can quite clearly see that is a Quetzal in the top left. And if you don't know, Quetzals are, it actually says in the Explorer note for Quetzals that they are the kings of the skies. They are the biggest flyers pretty much in ARK, and they are not easy to obtain. You need to actually have a plan and have some stuff going into it. They're not so much like a dangerous tame, but they're rare. They're very rare, and you need multiple people to actually take them down. So I'm not certain if that Quetzal is going after the PT, but just because the Quetzal's on the left side of the screen makes me think it belongs to this small tribe, which is confusing because you would think it belonged to this tribe, but I'm not certain. We can also see this PT at the very top. So the PT clearly has grabbed a person in what looks like hide armor. Also, I don't see a saddle on that PT. That's a little confusing. Anyhow, hide armor, right? But if we look on top, there's that little guy, and what it looks like he's wearing chitin. I'm not certain, but that does look like chitin armor. Now, chitin armor is pretty easy to get, so it's hard to tell if this person is on the left or the right. My guess is he's probably on the right side, because he looks like he's picked up a cloth member, which I'd imagine is from this side. Now we're going to break down the actual base and what's going on here. So if we look closely, right, we can see that there are actually a couple people on the actual wall defending. Now that's good. That's good. That's a good idea. So they might have people on these ballistas. But what really draws my attention is the fact that there is a metal gate, or at least it looks like a metal gate, in a wooden gate frame, which, oh my goodness, it's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. So the reason this is bad is because if you break the gate frame breaks too, which means if anything, you want to have a metal gate frame and wooden gates. So that's number one. And two, it's slightly hard to tell if this is a behemoth gate or not, because, like, in comparison, let's just look at these trikes here, right? If this was a normal gate, those trikes would seem much larger in proportion, which makes me think that this is in fact a behemoth gate. Another thing to take note of is, do you see these posts here holding the ballistas? This one right here is much closer to us than that far one. So it looks like this one is actually on the outside of the base, which, if you think about it, would mean that this gate here is actually far away. And because it's still so big on the screen, and because we now know it's really far away, it may in fact be a behemoth gate. So yeah, that's the first image analyzed. We're going to move on to our second one here, which is this one. So this isn't a huge image. You don't see this one too often, but it is still one that I've seen a few times. There's not too much to break down here. They clearly seem to be near the entrance to some sort of cave. There's a waterfall down here, and then there's the iconic Rex in the background. I feel like every single image has one of these. But we also have Helena. So if you don't know, Helena is one of the main writers for the Explorer notes on the Ark. And you'll see her on most, images relating to the game or promoting the game. So there wasn't that much to break down here. She actually does have a pretty decent kit. She's got her rifle. She's got a Raptor. And I'm not certain, but that does look like Helena, does it not? I don't know. It's a little bit different. Hard to tell. But we're going to go to the next image now. Now this one is a very interesting image. Obviously we have Helena with her rifle again. And we have her Raptor as well. But it gets more in depth because we can actually break down the location of this one. So we can see here they got the saber with the old DLC, which it actually looks cool in this image. We have a guy rocking some cloth pants and just a normal bow and arrow, which isn't the best idea. And then we have a wild Rex in the background, because always there's a Rex. But if we look closely, right, we can see the volcanoes and the snowy peaks in the background, as well as the green and red obelisks. Now these two obelisks, two mountains, these landmarks, we can actually use to accurately break down where this might be, okay? So if we think about it, the people here are taking place just off to the left and pretty close to the green obelisk, pardon me. And then there's the red obelisk in the background. You also have the mountains on the right side of the screen. So if I had to guess, I would say that this image is taken somewhere around that general area. Hold up, see if I can mark it here. See if I can mark it. I'd say it would take place somewhere in this general area, solely based off of where the obelisk is. So I'd say maybe that mountain there, if I had to guess, probably. But yeah, maybe these aren't made to scale, so we won't actually know. Our next image now. So we're going to move on to this one. Now, I love this image. I think this is a terrific drawing, and it really brings out what Ark is. It's these tribes working together, these people working together, and I don't think this is actually a raid scenario. I think this is definitely like just a base scenario. It's a way to describe what Ark is about, what it could be. So I really like this image, because you've got the Rex here, which is slightly unproportional. I think it's a little bit bigger than it would normally be. But we can see here that these look like 2-story houses. This one might be a 3-story house, etc., etc. We also have these Brontos here, which also look slightly smaller than they would actually be. But then we also have these gates here, and also I love this gate design. So normally gates, they're more of like an upside down U shape. These ones are just the 2 beams with the gate in the middle, and I love that. I think that looks so good. I wish that was how it really worked. But yeah, we do have all of our trikes here. We have our PTs. We got a couple people farming down there, which is good. Farms are very good, especially early game. They're not always the easiest to get going, but if you have them, They're very good for kibble and for other things. So they've clearly spent a decent amount of time, because if you look at the sheer size of this place, they have claimed a large chunk of land. And the fact that they've got such a large chunk of land and that they got Rexes and Brontos really makes me wonder why the walls are made of wood. Especially since, I'd say probably like 60% of the creatures in the game can damage wood. So some person on, like, I don't know, a Sabertooth, I think they can damage wood. I'm not certain. People on a small tame could easily break down your walls and raid you. This would be the easiest raid, especially if they had a PT. They could fly clean over the walls like these guys here. Because from what I can tell, they have zero air defense. They don't have turrets. They don't have, honestly, the bare minimum I'd say is get a couple Dialos to put on turret mode, but they don't have any of that. So that was a bad choice by them. Also, I really like that they've kept all of this forestation inside the base. I think that really gives it like a, it just adds something to the atmosphere. And then they've obviously got the stuff on the outside. But like, I feel like if this was my base, I probably would have chopped down all the trees on the inside. But they actually left these, so that really does create some atmosphere. Now, I'm not sure what to think of this, because if you look at up here, right, we have that cave, and there's nothing really wrong with that. That cave's fine. But at the very top left, we have this. That looks like metal structures, and possibly even tech. I'm not certain. But the big thing here is that looks like a pressure cooker or industrial cooker. I'm sorry. Pressure cooker. Why did I say pressure cooker? I meant industrial cooker. That is a very expensive item, and not a very useful item. It's basically just a cooking pot, but it does the same thing as a cooking pot. It just does it slightly better. So I don't know why they would have that, but the fact that they do have it makes me think that yes, they have access to a lot of resources, which leads me to think, again, why are their gates made out of wood if they have that? If they have the industrial cooker? It doesn't make sense to me. Alright, we're getting near the end now. So here is another zoomed in image of Helena. I'm not certain, but it does look like the same image, just cut from the other image that we showed with the red obelisk and the green obelisk. Now, we do actually get a few more details, because this is a slightly higher res image. So what we can obviously tell is, yes, she's wearing cloth and she's got her classic rifle. But what you couldn't really see in the last one is she's got her pike. Now, I'm not certain if that's a pike, because it does have some weird textures, but if it is, that is very good. It's a good starter item, as well as the gun. So she's got some long range and close range capabilities. She's also got a raptor, which I'd have to guess has pretty decent weight, because if she's carrying a gun, she's probably carrying other, heavier items. It does make me wonder why she's not wearing literally any other armor set in the game, but hey, I'm not going to judge. Alright, and then we have this image here. So we showed you this image to basically analyze some of the other images that we have. And this image, I do actually want to use this again. So on the first image, right, we had, where is it? This one here. Now we can actually break this one down a bit, because that is the volcano in the background, right? And we cannot actually see the green obelisk, but we can in fact see the red obelisk. So they are directly lined up with the red obelisk. We also have some other things here. So there's a lot of forest. There might actually be some plains up there in the back with less trees. But I think if we had to put this on the map, I'd say it's somewhere probably right about here, right where the corner of that green box is, because you've got the volcano very close in the background. They're pretty much lined up with the red obelisk. So if I had to guess, that's probably where I would say they are. But again, there's no way to know for sure. And with that is going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!
If you find the one, you should never give her up. I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah. I surround my soul with the positivity.